that's one of the things that I'm not crazy about with 6th edition and these random psychic powers. I kind of miss being able to count on the power I needed at the time, and so, yeah. But Death Mission is a lot of fun. If you want to chuck your Farseer into the wind and watch him demo a bunch of stuff, by all means do it. But you know, he's pretty much a victory point if we're counting that. And if he's your Warlord, then you're just giving up the Warlord point. So the next power is Fortune. Again, that's a great one because now it's 24 inches. Most of these powers, yeah, most of these powers are 24 inches now. So the Eldar psychic range got better for the most part. And so the last power is Mind War. And now it's a little different. It's not a cut and dry kind of dice off. It's, you know, it's not bad, but you know, it hurts. It can hurt the Farseer, but it's more akin to how Mind War used to work in 2nd edition, and how the power could hurt him. Maybe it was 1st edition. I don't know. Anyway, if you roll really bad, it could hurt the Farseer. And so that's Runes of Fate. And so the Farseer and the other fella get this. And the other fella that we'll get into right now is where is he? There he is, the Spirit Seer. He costs a little less than the Farseer. He's got almost the same stats as the Farseer, other than less wounds and less leadership. His war gear, he's got the rune armor, shocking. He's got his pistol and he's got his witch staff, whatever witch staff is. His special rules, he's got Ancient Doom, shocking, you know. Battle Focus, love Battle Focus. Fleet, love that Fleet. He's an independent character, really. He's a Psyker, duh. And he's got Spirit Mark, whatever Spirit Mark does. And so he can only generate powers. He's a level 2, by the way. And he can only generate powers from Runes of Battle, which is the ones for the Warlocks, and Telepathy. And he can also take Remnants of Glory, which is kind of cool. And so if you contain this guy, if your army has this guy in it, you can take your Wraith Guard and Wraithblades as troops rather than elite. Now in the previous edition of the Codex, if you took 5 Wraith Guard, then they were an elite. If you took 10, they were a troop. But now if you include this guy, then they automatically become troops, which is huge because even in small games, you can take small units of Wraith Guard for what you need. So you can take your units of 5 and your units of 5 and play it out like that. Lot of fun. But he's not a terribly awesome seer, and he's only a level 2, but he's got most stuff beat on that anyway. He doesn't get the Runes of Fate like the Farseer, which is kind of, but he's got the Warlock's powers, and he's also got access to Telepathy, and Telepathy has lots of good powers in it. So he's a pretty darn good little character. He's only, he's a little bit cheaper than a Farseer, unless you slap some Remnants of Glory on him. But otherwise, there's not much customizability of him. Customability? I don't know. Can't even speak English anymore. And so, that brings us to the Warlock Council. Now this has changed a little bit from the Warlocks in the past. The entries within the Codex before were that you could just pick a Warlock and throw it in the unit. And if you wanted to have the Council, then you had to have a Farseer. But now, you can just have a Council of 1 to 10 guys. They don't take up a force organization slot, and yeah. But now you have, if you're going to include Warlocks into units, they have to come from this choice. So that means that, for example, you're running a bunch of Guardians or jet bikes, and you throw Warlocks in with those units. Well, if you want to run the Farseer Warlock Council, then you're not going to have as many Warlocks in that unit as you once could do. Because before you could have a full 10-man unit. And then have your warlocks within units. But now you're limited to 10. And you cannot have more than one, I believe, as part of the army. Let me double check that. What do the warlocks get? Well, their stats are pretty much unchanged other than their initiative. Their points costs are about what you used to pay for them. Actually, a little bit cheaper, I guess, if you take them on foot. I always took them on jet bikes, so I'm just, And then plus as well, you used to have to pick the power, but now you got to roll randomly for the power that they get. And so they have the rune armor, they have the pistol, and they have their blade. Their special rules, they have the Ancient Doom. My God. Battle Focus, love it. Fleet, awesome. Psyker, level 1. Yeah, okay, well, it's a Psyker level 1. That's good because now, when they're in the unit, you got good odds of, dispelling spells. So it's good, right? Although I guess it's only if they have a higher mastery level. So I guess it really doesn't matter, right? Maybe it does, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And so they generate powers from runes of battle. And that's the same one that the Spirit Seer has access to as well. And they're pretty much the powers. Well, since we're talking about them, let's have a quick look at the runes of battle. Runes of battle. Okay, so runes of battle. Spirit Seer and Warlocks have access to this little chart. So the Primaris power for it is Conceal. But the great thing about runes of battle is they have a offensive and defensive side to them. And so the great thing about runes of battle are that they have an offensive and defensive side to them, which is really great. And so the Primaris power is Conceal, and it also has Reveal. The Conceal, it gives shrouding. Reveal, within 18 inches, removes stealth and shrouding. That's wonderful. That's great. And that's the Primaris power. That's like so big. I mean, imagine you're getting harassed by Tau stealth suits, and you want to get rid of that so everybody else can open up fire on them. Well, now you can do it, right? So the random side is you get Destructor and then Renewer. Destructor is kind of like how it used to work, except now it has Soul Blaze. So it's not bad. Renewer is target a single friendly unit within 18 inches. And the model regains a wound. So imagine, your Farseer took a wound earlier. Maybe Perils hurt him. Well, this guy, whoop, fixes the wound. That's awesome. Next one is Emboldened. Gotta love Emboldened, right? But the flip side of it is Horrify. Horrify. That's lots of fun. Emboldened is, instead, like in the old rules, Emboldened was the re-roll leadership checks. But now it's Fearless. So you don't have to roll. But it was leadership checks. So it used to be we could abuse it before because if the Farseer was with the unit, then he could re-roll his leadership check if he failed, right? But now he's got the one runes of witnessing for that. So yeah, you take the good with the bad, right? And so the next one, Horrify. This one is great. This psychic power right here is why I really love this new Codex, okay? This Embolden and Horrify, I can see these combinations and such. Like Horrify, within 18 inches, okay? It's a -3 modifier to the leadership of an enemy unit. That is huge, because you combine that with another little fella, another unit in the army who can automatically cause Terrified, right? And then all of a sudden they lose, because that Terrifying makes that unit lose Fearless, and then all of a sudden they're having to take leadership checks on -3, right? You can pin them, send them flying, what have you. That's my favorite power in this Runes of Battle, is this Emboldened and Horrify. It's just huge. And there's so many combinations you can do with that. It's not even funny. And so next is Enhance. We used to have Enhance before, but now it's a little bit better, right? Well, it's about the same. But Enhance, the flip side of Enhance is Drain. And so as you can imagine, what Enhance did for you, well, it does the opposite for the enemy. And so next is Protect. And then the opposite side is Jinx. Protect is increase your armor save. That's huge. To a maximum though of a 2 or better, but still that's pretty darn good. And this affects him and his unit. All these powers are him and his unit. So these are powerful abilities on like little level 1 psychers, you know, like this is huge. And then the Jinx allows you to what does he do? Lost my place here. Oh yeah, you reduce the armor save by 1 to a 6. So anybody who had a 6, you can't just reduce their armor saves like to nothing, right? But still, reducing an armor save, you know, that's making a Terminator, instead of his getting 2 better save, he's got to do 3 or better, like a Space Marine, or a Space Marine having to do his save like a Dire Avenger, right? Oh man, like that's another good one. It's another good one. And the ranges aren't bad on these ones. They're pretty much all 18 inches. And so our next power within the Runes of Battle is Quicken and Restrain. Quicken is a nice one. And it's not the tax return software either. Quicken, I know, bad joke, right? Allows the unit to run for an additional distance. Handy, especially when you combine that with your battle focus. Man, Eldar is going to be able to run circles around everybody, which was really my big thing. Coming into 6th edition with the older Codex, let everybody move just as fast as Eldar. And Eldar was the firepower and the speed. And so once everybody else was getting all these highly mobile units and such, it was like, well, where does Eldar fit into the grand scheme of things? But all this battle focus really does change Eldar for the best. Battle focus is such a huge addition to this book, to the army, making everybody, well not everybody, but everybody who has battle focus, the ability to run and shoot, or shoot and run. I mean, that's huge. It's huge. And so Quicken gives you the additional distance, and then the flip side of that is Restrain. And so what happens to that is that unit cannot run. So that's pretty handy too. You know, somebody who relies on a lot of runnings, Dark Eldar, Tyranids, you know, cavalry, jetpack, you know, like whatever, right? To stop the charge and, you know, stop that extra movement. It's huge because that extra run distance, and then if they want to charge, you know, you just don't want to be having to make that charge distance on a 9 or a 10, right? I mean, you want a nice comfy 5 or 6 inch charge distance. I mean, you could still fail that too, right? But, you know, so. And then last is Empower and Venerate. Enervate. I don't know why they got to throw these words in like that, eh? And so Empower is, it affects him and his unit, and they get a plus to their strength. And then Enervate, am I saying that right? I don't know. Write down below, let me know. Is the opposite, minus to the strength. Now that's pretty big, because minusing to the strength, well, Space Marine normally they would hit Eldar on a 3 or better, but if you hit them with this, and all of a sudden they got to roll 4 better. And they just don't seem quite as tough now, do they? They seem like you're fighting on par with them, right? And so, yeah, that's the Runes of Battle. So the Spirit Seer gets access to that, and the Warlocks. Now these are all determined randomly, but it's not bad, because the points cost really, they didn't change. Like the Warlocks, they're a little bit pricier, but before you had to pay for the power and pay for, you know, other crazy crap. But now it's not so much. And they also get the access to the battle focus and the fleet. Although I think they always had fleet, but now you can buy one Warlock for a set point, or you can buy additional Warlocks, up to 9, to make it a unit of 10. You can replace your blade for a spear, or you can slap them on a jet bike. And any model can be slapped onto a jet bike. So, but that keeps it open, right? Because if you're splitting the guys up and put them into units, some units are on foot, some are on jet bikes, you know, what have you, right? It doesn't make sense to have a guy on a jet bike who's guarding artillery, right? So, and so, that's it for HQ other than the special characters. And so really quickly here, let's have a look at the Remnants of Glory. Now these are a lot of fun. One more page. These are a lot of fun. These are supposed to represent artifacts from the Eldar's past. Now this is kind of fun. This is a new thing to the army, getting these special kind of war gear options. And so the first one, the Shard of Anaris, if I'm saying that right. It's not bad. It gives a buff to the strength. It's a melee weapon. It has rending, and it has Vol's work, special rule. And so basically it makes him fearless, and he can cause instant death with Fleshbane. Well, +2 strength on a Warlock who's a Farseer who's on a death mission. Okay. Lots of fun there, right? And so yeah, like these things just kind of really open the door and really kind of open up what you can do with your Eldar army. And so the next one is called a Fire Saber. And this is a buff to the strength. AP is all right, it's gonna deal with Marines. It has Soul Blaze and Wildfire. Now the Wildfire it's kind of like you kill the guy and everybody else in the area can catch fire and everybody's taking damage because fire is spreading all over the place, and it can be really annoying. I can see it really working well against like Horde Force, Imperial Guard, Tyranid, Orc, you know, stuff like that. Or even stuff with low armor saves as well. It could really affect. And so the next bit is the Spirit Stone of Elnanthlan. I don't know why they always throw these TH sounds into all this Eldar language stuff. Like they all talk with a lisp. Like what? That doesn't make sense. And so, what does this power do? Or this a piece of war gear? It is a Spirit Stone. Duh. And it can reduce the warp charge of the spell chosen to a minimum of 1. And so, but the flip side of it is that you don't get your rune armor save. So, yeah. But it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I dig it. I mean, the ability to cast your psychic powers, especially like, you know, Farseer, who's got 3 warp charge, and if all his spells are only warp charge 3, then that means he can effectively throw whatever spell he wants and do all 3 powers. Especially if he only rolled warp charge 2 spout powers, right? You definitely want this kind of war gear. I'm not sure what the points are. I can't list off the points for you guys anyway, because then, you know, GW will be after me. And so the next bit of war gear is, these Eldar names are getting to me now. Ulden Orethi. It's a long rifle. It's essentially the special character sniper rifle. It's a range 120 inches. In a regular game of 40K, I'm not sure why you would need to make this gun shoot this far. Only in Apocalypse would you really care how far this gun shoots. Now it's a sniper rifle, it's a heavy one. It's got a good AP, it's taking out Marines. You know, it's a sniper, it's a heavy one. So really the only benefits are is it's because it's a strength, right? It's a sniper rifle, so it's a sniper rule and a heavy one shot, but it's the AP, it's got a good AP. It's for taking out Marines. Or things with a Marine-like save, right? And so the next one, Mantle of the Laughing God. I just like to say that. Mantle of the Laughing God. And so this one is actually pretty interesting because this one, the character loses the independent character, but he gains hit and run, shrouded, and stealth, and he can re-roll his cover saves. That is hilarious. Again, because it's the mantle of the laughing god. And so the next choice is Falcho's wing. Falcho's wing? Falalaw's wing. We're just gonna say it's Falalaw's wing. And so with Falalaw's wing, you can run 48 inches. And you get a reroll to your stuff as well, your cover saves. That's fun. That's the kind of, well, my autarch or farseer on foot is in trouble, he's on the other end of the board, I need to skedaddle. Well, this is for skedaddling. I guess it's a little wing, right? So I mean, I don't know, maybe he puts a little wing in his boot and he flies away, right? I don't know. And so the last little bit of the Remnants of Glory, the Phoenix Gem. It's a one use only, but if the guy is removed as a casualty, you make a roll, you come back. So, which is pretty darn good if you ask me. It's kind of like the Necron's phylactery or whatever the heck it's called. But yeah, and so that's the Remnants of Glory. That's the first bit of the HQ choices that we get access to in this new codex. And so in the next video, I'm going to talk about these special characters. Or maybe we'll do special characters for last. I don't know. But yeah. And so that's the HQ choices, the default HQ choices, because then we'll get into the special characters. And so stay tuned for the next one. Like and subscribe if you found this interesting. Tell me what you think of the HQ choices. I'm especially curious to see what a lot of people think of the Avatar. And I mean, everybody's gonna love the spirits here, right? But so let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.